Hey, hello. This is just something that I randomly decided to do because I've been using Google Maps a lot to like time when the buses get here, and I realized that people have been leaving actual reviews of waters, and at first glance, some of them are very entertaining. So I've decided, as someone who's lived here for the past 4 years, I would have the best reactions and or feedback of what some of these people have to say. So hopefully my camera will hold up and we will get into this. So we can scroll through. There's 25 reviews, averaging out to 3.9 out of 5 stars. This person says, "It's a livable dorm, but the vibes that it gave off were quite unsettling. As soon as I stepped through the front doors, I instantly got the worst feeling of dread. It's weird because even though there aren't any cameras in the rooms, I couldn't shake feeling that I was constantly being watched, even when I was alone. Also, the temperature regulation is terrible. Even during the hottest days, I would be freezing in my room and the air conditioner wouldn't even be on. Another thing, I would constantly have reoccurring nightmares that would always take place within the dorm. When I told my roommate about them, he said that he had the same dream as I did. Also, I recommend wearing a sweater when in the laundry room because it is absolutely freezing, even on really hot days, but it's probably just the draft because the washer and dryer doors will violently swing open randomly." Huh? This seems so made up. The fact they're like, I got weird haunted vibes. Yes, Elizabeth Waters haunts the dorms, but it's fine. Constantly being watched. There are like no cameras in the resident room hallways. There's obviously cameras in like the lobby and then like the elevator, but like I've literally had to like deal with resident issues because there weren't any cameras to like prove that anyone did anything. So can confirm. Um, Maybe you should like work that out with like a therapist or like kidding. The dreams, no idea. Honestly, so the thing about waters is we don't have in unit like in building temperature control. So like every room has a heating unit at this like vent thing here, but it only turns on when it's like a certain low enough temperature. And then there's like a dial by the light switch that you can use to like adjust between like 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit or something. And they like go around and check that like the batteries are working and everything every year. But we don't have ACs. And so during like the summer months or like for medical reasons, you can get an AC unit placed in your window and that like controls your room temperature. But the hallways have AC, like the common spaces and stuff. And so like usually when residents move in, it's actually like really warm, and so we'll encourage them to open the doors and like blow a fan, put a fan on the door that like blows the cold air in from the hallways. I don't know. There have been times where the temperature control has been interesting. I think this past year, one of the units over there, like the heating like wouldn't turn off, and so the residents in that hallway that they had to like open all the windows and stuff. But for the most part, I've never known this building to be cold. The laundry room is like, I don't know how the temperature works in there, but doors aren't swinging violently or anything. Maybe this person just had a very interesting time living here, or they're just respectfully making stuff up. Cool. Well, good luck to them. I doubt they live here anymore, but they gave this place 3 stars. It is in fact livable, and those are the downsides and or the quirks of living here. This person says, "Back porch lighting is excellent, but also terrible because it turns off. Time interval could be longer. View of the lake is good. The red cushions are very comfy. Great place to hang out. Kyle doesn't have anything to add." So we have a back patio, and this year we finally got the lights to work again. 2 years ago, the patio lights were not turning on for whatever reason. And so I put in many maintenance requests, and they brought a whole forklift and everything, and they couldn't really get it figured out, but they figured it out this year, and so we've gotten to have a lot of pretty photos and pretty events on the patio. During the non-snowy parts of the semester, they have patio furniture out, so there's wooden tables, and there's also like couches that have like red cushions, and they're like in a shape. I can show you. Someone this year made a sticker. This is what the chairs look like. There's obviously more than one of them, but it's a representative of our patio lights. Yeah. They do time out, like they do turn off after a certain number of time. I don't know the exact time limit, but like there's a button that you can just press by the door and just turn it back on. I think the buttons don't work when it's like after quiet, or like after a certain time at night, like after quiet hours probably. And also during the day, like if it's like 5 a.m., why are you turning on the patio lights? But the interval, yeah, it could be longer. You could also get up and turn them on again. 5 stars. Okay, here's some short ones. Living here has been great. It is super close to classes, and the rooms are a great size for a dorm. I agree. Even when I lived with a roommate, we had like a lot of space. We did have our beds lofted, but I have seen plenty of residents not loft their beds and still have room to like have their own space. So that's really nice. And obviously as a house fellow, I get a room meant for 2 people to myself, and so I can really spread my stuff out. Although, yeah, the room layout is different for me every year. It's interesting how I can like customize it, but even with like a roommate, because we're only like doubles, people get creative with how their room layouts go. But I would say if you're thinking about room layout, look at the photos online or just ask people you know, because it's different for everyone. And also like if you live in like, so I live in the top floor of my unit, so Waters is 5 units, each is 4 floors. If you live in the top floor, there's, I don't know if it's higher ceilings, but there's less pipes in the ceiling. If you live in the basement floor, there's huge pipes in the ceiling, but the ceilings are much taller, and so like the closet space that you have has a lot more room. I've seen people put like full suitcases and stuff up there. And then if you're in a corner room, depending on where you are in the building, there's like a different layout with like outlets and windows too. So it'll all depend. So that type of layout, fine. But size-wise is pretty great. I don't know of anyone who's complained about their room being too small, for sure. Worst dorm on campus. Ari took my, Well, yeah, that stuff's not even allowed in Wisconsin. So I don't know what this has to do with Waters as a building, but go for it. This person says, nice place, lots of stairs. Yes. I don't know if people are just like surprised by that. Waters is built on Observatory Hill. It kind of has to have stairs, otherwise you're just going to be like climbing walls to get to places. I will say it wasn't built with the most accessible and or logicalness in mind, but it works. And like, as someone who's lived here, even at my first year, I found it to be relatively intuitive. Let me see if I can get a photo. So I have, every year I make like a map of Waters with like the themes that all the house fellows use. So this is the most recent one, but like basically you enter here, this is the lobby, and then there's just staircases zigzagging down to every floor. And so if you just kind of map out like, oh, I'm here, I need to get here, these are the 2 staircases I need to take. Or if I'm here, I need to go up here, this is where so there's only 1 elevator access. But like it's relatively straightforward, and like house fellows do rounds of the entire building, and that doesn't take us that long, and we take a lot of stairs. So considering most people only have to go to their hallway and then like the laundry room, it's a lot of stairs. I think as long as you don't have like mobility issues, it's fine. Like you picked a place that's basically the most accessible in terms of like accessing other parts of campus. Like literally I can get anywhere on campus in 15 minutes or less, walking wise. But you do pick the place that's on a hill. So, you know, mix and match, pros and cons, all of that. Okay, this person says, me and my homies hate water. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Best dorm on campus? Just no. Swag. Mid. If Elizabeth Waters was still alive, I would marry her. Fun fact, each of the houses in Waters is named after a different notable woman at UW. I have a whole list of the women of Waters. We did this 2 years ago now for like Women's History Month. It's on the Waters Hall Instagram. If you're interested in that, you can go look it up. But yeah, so like this year I lived in Pearson House, which is in the 4th unit, and Pearson House was named after Helen Pearson, who was an undergraduate at UW Madison Taught home ec in 2 Wisconsin high schools. Member of many organizations, including the 4-H Clothing Development Program. First president. There's a whole lot of stuff. We also have like posters hung up inside of the building right now, like explaining all of the women. But you can go over to the Waters Instagram. Shout out. I ran that for like 2 or so years. So check it out. Anyways. This one is the funniest to me. I don't know what any of this means. So this person says, and they have like over 200 reviews on Google Maps, so maybe they just really like to share their thoughts. We were staying in a 2-person dorm room, all of them are that, located in the last building. Don't know what that means. From the main entrance to our room, we had to climb several flights of stairs. You shouldn't have to climb anything. You should be going down. as I mentioned, you enter and then you go down. I don't know. Anyways, carrying my heavy luggage. Everyone does that. Also, we give you like other entrances during move-in. This design is extremely inconvenient and unfriendly to students not living in the first row. Only the first row has an elevator. Again, don't know what that means. You can also take the elevator down to certain floors, which will like reduce the number of steps. So like my first year as a house fellow, I lived in the 4300s. And so entering here, I would take the elevator down to Liz's and then the 4300s, which is like half a flight of stairs up. Not only was there no private toilet in the room, I don't know what you were expecting. It's listed on the website that we'd have communal bathrooms. But even then, like, there's about 20 people in your hallway. So you're sharing a full bathroom with, like, I think my bathroom has 4 shower stalls and 5 bathrooms and 6 sinks. Like, yeah, it's not a hotel, but there wasn't even a small sink for washing and brushing teeth. Again, the bathroom is about 10 steps from everyone's room. It's like in the middle of the hallway. My room is in the middle of the hallway, the house fellow room is, so it's like right across from me. And like the drinking fountain is like right there too. This was the worst part. Extremely inconvenient. I wish I hadn't stayed in the dorm. I just want to know, like, because I know during SOAR, they like put you up in Lowell. Vlog for that coming soon, maybe. But you really, like, you signed up for housing and you got your room assignment and you could look on the website that there was, like, no private bathroom? And, like, the rooms are huge and, like, I don't know, I've met a lot of people who live in the last building. Like, a lot of people I know now were in literally, like, the farthest buildings from the lobby. And they are very happy people. And I find that, like, the farther you are from the lobby, the actual, like, better community you have. Because you're, like, so tucked away, you have no choice but to, like, get to know the people around you. And even when I lived in the 4300s, my residents on the 4200s were in the basement floor by themselves, and they just formed their own little community. Like, it was really fun. Yeah. Anyways, that's all the reviews. I think if I were to give a review, an honest review, reasons why you'd want to live here. Liz's Market is right downstairs. The patio is actually, like, really pretty. And, like, sure, there are, like, bugs a lot of the times. And, like, I guess the patio lights aren't on for long enough. But I know a lot of people who like studying out there. They'll, like, bring yard games and play out there. Other reasons you want to live here. Again, anywhere you can go is 15 minutes away. Like, I can get to Dejope in 15 minutes. I can get to the engineering campus in 15 minutes. I can get to Union South in like 10 minutes. I can get to Gordon's in 15 minutes. I can get to State Street in 15 minutes, like Memorial Union. Literally, like, anywhere. It's very accessible location-wise, and if you're a first year, chances are you'll be taking, like, intro math, intro chem, intro physics, like, all of those classes are literally, like, the academic buildings by Waters. Downsides, we don't have AC in room unless you're here for the summer or you get your own for, like, medical reasons, but we're not the only building that has that. We live on a hill, so you will be walking upwards a lot, or downwards. So, but in the wintertime, it's generally fine. They are really good at salting the sidewalks, and, like, our facilities team works so hard. We're the only dorm where residents don't bring their garbage out to the dumpsters. We have, like, separate trash cans and recycling bins on the balcony that the facilities team will then move to the dumpsters for, like, safety reasons. I guess bugs. I've had a lot of people contact me about bugs. Personally, haven't had the most problems with it. I think once I started having an AC unit as a house fellow, I would notice like they're not ladybugs, but they look like ladybugs crawling in, and like the occasional stink bug. And I think other rooms have had spiders before, but there's never been an infestation or anything. Right now it's the summer, and so we have a lot of mayflies. But if you're pretty good about like turning off lights and like closing spaces and stuff, it's doable. And like if you're not in like a brand new building, like over in Lakeshore, I guess you have like Leopold or Dejope, or then like any of the Southeast buildings that are newer, you're gonna get some of that nature-esque experience. So yeah, in general, I like it here. I lived here for 4 years, have had no reason to leave. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of the Wise Learning community, but honestly, the residents that aren't in the Wise Learning community also have like a lot of fun. Like I think the people that I meet outside of my own residence are the ones that are not in the learning community. And so even if you're not paying extra for like the benefits of a specialized residential group, like you can still get a lot out of it. But yeah, it's been 15 minutes. I'm on duty in about 10. So that's been my Waters Residence Hall Google Maps review reaction. Okay, bye.